What's good, y'all? Welcome back, every single listener, friend, listener, and others who are just joining us today for the first time to WoT In Color, the dopest Black woman-hosted podcast for the preeminent Wheel of Time series. I am Keba.
And I am Shar.
Jambo, my
sister.
How are you?
What's going on?
Girl, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
And I'm tired.
Are you tired?
I'm tired.
I know that's
tired. Because we getting ready for JordanCon.
Yo, JordanCon is like literally next week.
It is. And I've got to do all the packing. I'm a late packer.
I'm going to pack on the morning of the flight.
Okay, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I'm horrible. I'm going to wake up that morning and I'm be like, oh, I got a plane to catch.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I should pack my bag.
I'm maybe like, oh, so maybe I'm not that bad. Because I'll be like, oh, no, it's 2 days before the flight. I have to pack this bag.
Oh, that's way too early.
I'll stress out and, I got to figure out.
Nah, if it's a morning flight, and I think I have a morning flight, I'll do it the night before. But it'll be it won't even be really a pack. It'll be, these are the items I'm taking.
Oh.
They're not in the suitcase yet.
Oh. You just gotta throw them in there.
These are the items I'm taking with me, so.
Okay.
But I'm really excited today.
Why, girl, why?
On this day, because our resident guest has joined us again.
Oh, she used the key? Hey, girl, hey!
Welcome back, Comey.
What's up?
What's
Sick
good?
and tired. That's what y'all sound like.
Tired.
Sick and
T-I''ed.
Yes.
It's funny because I'm listening to y'all and it sounds like me and my mother. My mother's an Aquarius and I'm an Aries, and I'm just like me 2 days before the trip. I'm just like, all right, let me stop bullshitting. Let me go ahead and put some clothes. Let me get some outfits together, whatever I'm gonna basically, and kind of use that to gauge how big my suitcase needs to be. My mother waits until the night of, literally about an hour before we pull out of the house. She's still stuffing stuff into suitcases and trying to find, bring your suitcase over here. I could put 2 more shoes in your suitcase.
No, because then she'd be the one talking about, I forgot to pack the Listerine. Oh, man, I forgot to pack the toothpaste.
But that's what she got a whole, I don't forget anything.
She never forgets anything.
I never forget anything.
And she be
I'm last minute packer and I never forget anything.
And she be the one who has the first aid kit that you be hoping you find, and the Pepto-Bismol and the Kaopectate and all the good stuff.
Okay, I'm not that good. Wait. She got the whole drugstore.
Right.
No, my mother had the whole drugstore. Literally, like nothing's forgotten.
But speaking of sun signs, we've had some birthdays.
Oh, yes.
We've had some birthdays. Mm-hmm. Happy belated, Keba.
Happy belated para mí. I'm still on my Spanish.
And happy belated, call me Nagomi.
Para ti.
Thank you, my sisters. Thank you very much. Yes, appreciate it.
Our 2 Aries.
Aries
season.
Yes.
Is pretty much almost over. But
listen, Aries season never ends. I just figured
we just let y'all have it for a little bit. That's all it is.
Yeah, we just lay back in the cut and we act up in April. That's it. That's all.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So we all gonna see each other next week in Atlanta. We can't wait to see you folks.
That's right.
That are listening. Also, we have an announcement.
Oof.
We have an announcement.
I love announcements.
We have a new member of the WoT In Color team.
Yes.
Shout out to Ruark of the Watch Party Wheel of Time podcast. Ruark has joined us.
Yes.
They have graciously offered their services to us. So very soon,
yes,
we're going to sound like a real podcast.
Like a real boy.
Like a real podcast.
Like a real boy. I'm a real podcast. So we can stop bleeding out your speakers and yelling in your ears. And
the sound will sound normal.
Right.
Thanks to Ruark. Thank you so much, Ruark.
They are the bomb.
They are the bomb.com.
Yes.
We truly appreciate you. Maybe by the time this is edited, maybe Rourke will have their hand in it. Maybe this episode will sound like a real podcast.
Maybe this episode we won't be yelling in your ear.
Right.
I will pray for the listener friends because we don't know.
Right.
But we do our best.
Yes,
Ruark is going to come in and make sure that we are our best.
Yes.
So shout out to them. I am over the moon elated.
Same. And here we are, episode 7.
Wow.
We are really, this
We're
WoT In Color
rolling.
train is rolling on. Really, really, really rolling. So today we are talking about chapters 13 and 14. So let's get into it.
Okay. Because choices.
Chapter 13 is called Choices. So we choose to talk about chapter 13. And I have a feeling that these episodes are going to just get longer and longer because I feel like we have more action. You know, especially in the upcoming chapters. We just have, you know, more action. There'll definitely be a lot more to talk about. So
That's exciting.
So we ended chapter 12 with our Emmons Fielders. You know, they're on the run from
no Beyonce and Jay-Z.
No Beyonce and Jay-Z. But they're on the run from Murdral and Trollocs and Drakkar.
Drakkar's in the sky.
Drakkar in the sky.
Not
things like that.
Not Narg Trollocs.
Not Narg Trollocs, no.
No, because Narg would have had them.
Yeah, because Narg's smart.
They'd be in the soup by now.
Narg dead.
Damn, not in the Trolloc cookpot.
Yeah.
Already. So one of their hiding spots, they were in a little hidey hole after they, after Moiraine tricked the Drakkar into chasing them in the opposite direction.
Not Narg, but go ahead. Narg would have been like, this is set up.
It's
It's a trap. I know they went straight.
It's a trap. I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends.
Narg go right.
Because
Narg
Narg watches SVU.
Narg would've been like, it's-
Narg got Netflix.
Oh, I don't think there will be an episode where we ever don't talk about Narg. That was my guy. He was my G
That's
for real.
hilarious how Narg, we met Narg very early in this book.
And
We got 15 books, and we're going to be on book 15.
And we go like,
Talk
but
about
Narg
Narg.
wouldn't have. Narg would have listened.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
It
my
wouldn't
Narg
be a
was
book
there.
15 because Narg would have been like in the hiding hole, like, ha, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Narg smart. Narg found it first.
Chapter 12
Narg
would have
ain't
been the
dead.
last chapter.
That's right. That's
whole
right. It'd have been
series.
some more lightning out the sky if she could, because Narg would have been like, I know your tricks.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yo, y'all are crazy. So they're in this little hiding spot that Lan had found for them. And Egwene was learning that she can channel. And she actually can become an Aes Sedai. And by the way, I just want to make a point. In previous episodes, Keba, you would mention, I think such and such is an Aes Sedai. So I just want to clarify. Just because you can channel, it doesn't automatically make you an Aes Sedai.
Ah.
So you have
something
you have that
special.
ability, but if you want to become an Aes Sedai,
You gotta train like a Power Ranger.
I was gonna say like a sorority member, you have to go through a process
I was
to
going to say
join.
college.
Okay.
I was going to say college.
So Power Ranger.
Because I'm immature. Go, Power Rangers.
Listen, I'm here for the Power Rangers. So it's definitely, yes, you have to train.
Okay. All right.
You have to train, you have to study, you have to learn, you know, and you just can't say, hi, I know how to channel. Make me an Aes Sedai. No, they have to allow you.
So what do they do with people who know how to channel but can't, for whatever exclusionary reason, be an Aes Sedai?
Raffle.
We will get to that. Read and find out. Raffo. She just
First
Raffo.
raffled you.
don't
You got your
raffle
first.
me.
You just got your first
Okay.
raffo. Just got your first. Congratulations. Welcome. Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to the fandom. You've been raffoed.
Wow. Listen. Okay. Anyway.
It's happened
you know
to
what?
all of us. We've all
It's
been
happened to
raffled.
all of us.
Okay.
I will find out through Nynaeve
You will find out what through Nynaeve.
what happens to women who can channel but have an exclusionary exemption on why they can't be Aes Sedai. Because I think she can be an Aes Sedai, but like I said, I think there's some block or something because she's just so crotchety and angry. So that's like an energetic block. Maybe that's some trauma or something. And I think I think they're gonna use Nynaeve in the story to show what happens to somebody who can channel but can't be an Aes Sedai for whatever reason.
That's so interesting. So just to remind everyone, last week you said Nynaeve has a block that needs to be healed before she can channel.
Yes.
So that we're still...
Yes.
You're still
I think because it's
okay.
trauma. It's trauma. She lost both of her parents really young. I read energy for people who understand what that means and don't find it very weird. I read energy. And so when somebody...
So you're reading Nynaeve's energy?
I'm reading it through the book.
Yes.
And homegirl has a blockage. I don't know. I'm feeling like it's in her. It's not her throat chakra because that's wide open.
No, her throat chakra.
No, her throat
is
chakra
the most open chakra
clear
ever. She reads
maybe
everybody
her heart,
for filth.
Maybe her heart chakra. One of the chakras is super blocked, and it's not allowing her to channel. It's also very Avatar for those who the Last Airbender, not the blue people. And so I feel like there's some kind of blockage there. So she can't be an Aes Sedai. And, as we get into the recap, there was a part where Moiraine was saying that, the wisdom, because she told Egwene that there was somebody else.
Okay, so I get to that.
Yes, okay.
In the recap, yeah.
So
I will recap
yes,
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish the recap.
Yes.
Let's finish the recap. Okay. So Moiraine says most who come, she's saying she can become an Aes Sedai, and Rand, we ended with Rand was being a hater about it, and she mentioned in chapter 12, most who come to Tar Valon must study for many months before they can do what you just did. And what she just did was she made light bloom.
Flicker. She channeled.
She channeled light.
Yes.
And it bloomed inside of, they had like a blue stone, which was just an ordinary blue stone, according to Moiraine, and she channeled light, and she said, that last light was yours. And so she said, you may go far, perhaps even the Amarylline seat one day, if you study hard and work hard. That was from chapter 12. Before we move on to chapter 13, do you know what the Amarylline seat is? Is that a glossary?
Did a glossary read it?
The glossary will tell you.
Let me see. Let me go in there real
who
quick.
The Amarylline seat is. So Moiraine says, you may go far, perhaps even the Amarylline seat one day, if you study hard and work hard. And I meant to do this last week, so this is why we're doing this now.
Got you. Okay, the Amarylline seat is the title of the leader of the Aes Sedai.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, elected for life by the Hall of the Tower, the highest council of the Aes Sedai, which consists of 3 representatives from each of the 7 Ajas. So this is a group of High Council Aes Sedai that has 1 representative from each Aja.
3.
Okay.
They said 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, because reading is fundamental. 3 representatives from each. So it's 21 Aes Sedai.
On this,
7 times 3
is on the
21.
council.
On this
Math.
council. Because math, yes.
Narg. Thanks, Narg. The Amarylline seat has, theoretically, at least almost supreme authority among the Aes Sedai. She ranks as the equal of a king or queen. Okay. The throne upon which the leader of the Aes Sedai sits. Okay, so in the Aja, right? Let's say in the purple hip-hop Aja.
Yes.
Keba Sedai, Shar Sedai, Komi Nakomi Sedai are part of the Amarylline.
So it's called the Hall of the Tower.
The Hall of the Tower.
Right. So that's that
So
council.
we're on the Hall of the Tower. And then there's 1 from this Hall of Tower that sits in that seat.
There's someone else.
There's someone who is someone else?
Yes, the Amarylline seat is who's in charge of everybody.
Yeah, she's
who sits in that seat?
The Amarylline seat sits in the Amarylline seat. So
She's
the Amarylline seat refers to both the leader of the Aes Sedai, their queen, if you will.
Yeah.
But they don't call her queen, even though in the society she's equal to kings and queens of other nations.
Got you.
So the Aes Sedai are in Tar Valon. That's a city.
Yes.
Where they physically live, the building that they live in is called the White Tower. So that's the White Tower is equivalent to like a king's castle or a queen's castle. The White Tower.
That is good information to know because that comes up a bunch. Okay.
Yes, and then the Amarylline seat is the head of all Aes Sedai. She's the queen, but They don't refer to her as queen.
So is it like...
And then the seat, her throne, instead of it being called a throne, it's called the Amyrlin seat.
So is it like ranked choice voting? How does one get into the seat?
We'll have to race.
Don't raffle me, girl.
Yes.
Bye.
That will come. You will learn all about White Tower politics as you read
Tower politics
through these books.
Wow. Okay.
So we won't go there. So
all right.
From last week, again, Moiraine says, you may go far, perhaps even the Amyrlin seat one day, if you study hard and work hard. So, moving on to chapter 13. The chapter symbol is that tree branch.
Moiraine's walking stick.
Moiraine's walking stick.
Moiraine.
Yeah. Moiraine. So the chapter, I just wanted to note for those who were listening to audiobooks, the book shows a map that's zoomed in, and that particular map, right? You see that right in the beginning of the chapter?
Yeah.
That shows the route that they have to take to Tar Valon.
I did not pay attention to that.
Yeah, you gotta look at the maps.
I'm the map.
Let me Dora the Explorer now.
I did bust out my Spanish. I mean, it may have been inaccurate. Right. Okay, so they have to go east. That map doesn't show Bearlawn where they're in right now. Okay. But Bearlawn would be off the page all the way to the left, so it would be all the way west. Okay. So they have to, so when they continue traveling, the next city they're gonna hit is Whitebridge. Ah, okay. And then they're gonna hit Four Kings. Mm-hmm. Oh, the road's here. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they're gonna hit Camelin. Uh-huh. And I can just tell you, this is spoilery, but not spoilery. Camelin is the capital of Andor. Andor is the country that they're in. Okay. And Camelin is the capital. And so then when they get to Camelin, then they head north towards Tar Valon. Got you. Okay. Oh, look at that. They're gonna pass my guy. Well, so you're talking about Dragon Mount. Yes. Dragon Mount is when you're in Tar Valon, you can see Dragon Mount. It's right off to the side there. Yes. It's very visible. Like his dream. Okay. And so if you recall, I just wanted to note for you, when we previously were given maps, the very first map that we were given in the very beginning was the map of the entire quote unquote known world that we're in. So in that map, it shows Andor. Okay. It says Andor. So Emond's Field and the Two Rivers are also in Andor. Okay. But because they're like the westernmost point of Andor, and they're in the country, in the backwoods. Yeah. They don't know anything about what goes on in Camelin, which is their capital city. So that's why they govern themselves. Got you. Okay. Right? And then in that map, you can see Bearlawn on that map. You can see the Two Rivers, and you see Bearlawn is directly north. So we were in the Two Rivers. They've been traveling north. They got to Bearlawn, and now they have to travel east. Got you. Okay. Yeah. And look at that. That's Moiraine on the horse. And then the second map that we've been shown was a zoomed in map of the Two Rivers, so you can see the villages that are in the Two Rivers. Got you. Whatever. Okay. All right. So now the chapter begins. They're still in the little hidey hole. Hidey hole. And Moiraine lays hands on everybody to heal them of their fatigue. Man, that means something different in the hood. Yeah, it does. It does. Definitely.
Two different things
not
in
laying
the hood.
hands like that. Yeah.
It means two different things in the hood.
Yeah, you're right. Nah, we not beating anybody up, and we not in church. But Moiraine has been healing, and Rand thinks about. So we're still in Rand's point of view. So far, this entire book, we've been in Rand's point of view, and I could not. But go on. Okay. So Rand is reminded that Moiraine can't do the same thing for herself. They go to sleep for like about an hour, and then they wake up and they continue their journey. Moiraine looks tired, so. One other thing I'd like to give you, information I'd like to give you, I don't remember if it's come up before or not, but it takes them almost 1 week to get to Bearlawn. Yeah. In this world, 1 week is 10 days. Oh, it's not 7? It's not 7. So they've been funky to high hell for 10 days without a shower? From the time, from hidey hole. From the hiding just hole. Just from hidey hole to Bearlawn, it takes them almost 10 days. So they've been 2 weeks without a shower practically. Almost 1 week. We're in the world of Wheel of Time. So almost 20 days. Almost. Oh, you mean totally? So totally, like, you're talking. Yes. I didn't see him take no bath when he got back from Emond's Field before bell time. So we get to a bath though. We eventually get to a bath. We get to a bath next chapter. But baby, how did they stand each other? Well, if you're all funky, I don't mean I want to. Right.
I don't want to smell your funk and my funk and his funk and her funk.
And Bella's funk.
And the horses is funky. Babe, no wonder they was avoiding all the villages. Please.
Funky.
What, I mean, did they get menstruals? Was they like tying napkins and wading in the water? Like, what's happening? They're eating cheese and dry meat. How was they taking shits? I have questions
that need answers.
That need immediate answers, because there's no way humanly possible to live like that. I don't care what age this is, baby. You got to give me some running water, okay? Shoot.
So this is the third age.
I don't care. Don't care. Ugh.
I really don't think there's a plumbing system in the third age.
Okay, well, you can give me the stream that is flowing. That's running enough.
They definitely use the stream that is flowing. You know, water wells and such.
Okay,
things like that. I actually remember my great-grandmother's water well.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
No, it ain't.
And she... It's, yeah.
No, it's cool that she remembers.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's definitely...
Yeah, that part.
Oh, no.
But when we would go down south, we would stay at a hotel. But my great-grandmother had
that's right.
a water well and an outhouse.
Oh, see?
She did not have indoor plumbing.
And that's how I know I wouldn't be able to survive. I can't use a regular outhouse. I can barely use an airplane bathroom.
Right.
And that flushes. But it's in the heart. Like, so my mom, you know, we have family in the South, and my mom has told stories about going to visit family down south with my grandmother and having to use outhouses and take this with you because the snake run up on you and... You know, make sure you dig your hole once you're done.
Dig your hole.
Why would someone elect to live that way?
Well,
I mean...
I don't know. I know that, so where my great-grandmother lived, it was much like Emmonsfield. Very rural. One of those communities, I can't even call it a town or a city. It was one of those communities, you know, the joke that they say, if you're driving through and if you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
So that was the town that my grandfather grew up in. And... You know, we still have that land, actually. And we do have plumbing now.
Okay. I was not about to say.
But the house that's there now is not the same house that my great-grandmother lived in, where she raised all 10 of her children. But if that's all you know...
Yeah, I guess.
You know? And my great-grandmother died in 1980, so I was very, very young. But I remember it because we had our family reunion in 1980, and I remember there was an outhouse and a well.
And they made you use the outhouse when you had
I don't remember using the outhouse.
Maybe I would have peed on myself.
But the people in surrounding houses had plumbing and everything. And like I said, we always stayed at the Holiday Inn.
And I understand.
The local Holiday Inn.
Let's go rent a car whatever.
Which was in town, because it wasn't in the same community, because that community had nothing but pigs and cotton and corn and tobacco and snakes and things like that. Snakes. No industry of any kind. And so you had to drive into town to get any type of, so at least 15, 20 miles to drive into town to find a hotel. So the closest hotel was about 15 to 17 miles away.
Wow.
And it was a Holiday Inn, and that's where we would stay.
And you know it's bad when you're grateful for a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, right.
Real talk.
Right.
So real quick, my parents are from Jamaica. They're from not just like Kingston, Jamaica, which is the city. They're from the countryside of Jamaica. So that's, I mean, back in their day, at least back when I used to go and visit every 2-3 years back in Jamaica, they only had an outhouse. And basically they had the chamber pots. So we would have to do that and then go out. And one time I tried to use the outhouse, and between the smell and the lizards,
right,
it was a lot. But
I don't do reptiles.
I don't do much of anything on 4 legs, honey.
Right. It was PTSD. That's all I know. And all I remember is I remember one time I had to spend an entire month there when they were planning my aunt's wedding out there. So we was there for like a whole month. And so that's all I had. Can I tell you that the first thing I did when I got back to Brooklyn was use bathroom? I went straight literally up to our house and went into the bathroom. I didn't come out for I don't know how long, basically. It was traumatizing. Right. But Revelation when they basically got a gravity a tank to put on top of the house so you could have like gravity to use to flush, and they actually put a toilet in the house.
Oh wow.
The whole neighborhood was like, whoa, y'all doing it.
They got money.
Right, got a gravity tank?
Oh, they got
so
a
y'all
large.
think y'all big, now y'all have a tank on your roof. Okay.
Right.
And the whole next level when we start basically staying at hotels in Montego Bay and stuff like that. It was like a game changer.
Right.
Then we were just like, we love going to Jamaica.
Listen, get you the little all-inclusive one, and y'all go off and meet y'all family, and then come back and get in that infinity pool.
I know that's right.
Now, game changer. But hey, if it's all what you know, you deal with what it is.
Yeah, you work with what you have. If you if you don't have anything else, then you gotta work with what you have. So, all right. So let's get back into this. So during their journey, Lan always scouted ahead and behind to make sure they weren't being followed or they weren't walking into a trap. And it appeared that all was clear. Also during the journey, Lan started teaching the boys how to use their weapons. Matt had a bow, Perrin has an axe, and Rand has a sword. Heron clip.
Of course, Suwu.
Is that their call?
I don't know.
You gave them a call. Suwu.
Heron.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Lan, his teachings to Rand, it reminds Rand of what Tam taught him about the flame and the void. And if you recall from chapter 1, Tam taught Rand to concentrate on a single flame and feed all your passions into it. Fear, hate, anger, until your mind became empty. Become one with the void, Tam said, and you can do anything. And so Rand's like, Lan is putting him on game, and Rand's like, oh yeah, that's like the flame and the void my daddy taught. My father who's waiting for me back in Emmonsfield because he's my father.
Mine.
Right. Also during the journey, Tom entertained them, juggling and telling stories, and someone took the braid out of their hair.
Adulting.
Egwene takes the braid out of her hair. Rand becomes an asshole about it. Egwene says, well, Aes Sedai don't braid their hair unless they choose. Rand is like, oh, so you want to be a dark friend now? And they argue because Egwene is like, are you dumb? You think
TNAs?
Are you dumb? Because you really think Moiraine is a dark friend. So that happens. One night, Matt is like, listen, fuck this Tar-Valon shit. Let's go to Ilion.
We good now. We good.
Because that sounds like it's lit down there in Ilion. Ain't no Aes Sedai down there from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? So they're basically complacent now. They become complacent during this journey because they haven't, seen any Trollocs. They don't hear the Drakkar. So, they get blasted about that. Like, oh, y'all think y'all good?
Right.
Also one night, Rand is eavesdropping. Moiraine and Egwene, they have their weekly chats now because we can assume now that Moiraine has explained to Egwene that she can channel and that she can learn and study to become an Aes Sedai, and that what she did was really unheard of because she mentioned that what she accomplished, women had to study for weeks to even get there. Which kind of reminds me of Egwene in the Ravens prologue. I'm going to be the best water carrier ever. So now here is Egwene again. She's been told she can do something.
She been like, I'm sitting in that seat. That seat belongs to me.
She's trying to be the best Aes Sedai ever. Definitely. So Rand is listening. Moiraine slips up and was like, yeah, can't believe there were 2 women in the 2 rivers with the ability to become initiates of the White Tower. What are your thoughts on that?
She's talking about Nynaeve.
She's talking about Nynaeve.
And I'm mad that Egwene didn't pick that up.
Yeah, she named some folks.
Yeah.
Never named
And
Nynaeve.
I was like, first of all, maybe she doesn't. No, I feel like in that conversation she also said, or at some point she said, women who have the ability to channel the power are usually wisdoms in their village. I feel like she said that to her in that conversation at some point as well.
Did she say that in that? I know
in
she
that
said that
conversation. She said it, right?
Yeah, I don't
remember if it's exactly that conversation, but it is in one of the conversations. I believe it is the conversation, because she mentions it. And the last conversation was in the last chapter, when she was just like, many women basically they might in your area, neck of the woods, might become a wisdom. So
yeah, she doesn't say it in this particular conversation.
Okay.
In this particular conversation, she says, better for you if you were afraid, but I hope you hold to that conviction. Few women these days have the ability to become initiates, much less have the wish to. Maureen's voice sounded as if she had begun musing to herself. Surely never before two in one village. The old blood is indeed still strong in the two rivers. In the shadows, Rand shifted. A twig snapped under his foot. He froze instantly, sweating and holding his breath, but neither of the women looked around. Two? Egwene exclaimed. Who else? Is it Kari Thane? Lara Ayelen? Moraine gave an exasperated click of her tongue. Sounds like she said...
Right, she gave a strong shoot.
Yeah.
Kiss her teeth.
Then said sternly, you must forget I said that. Her road lies another way, I fear. Concern yourself with your own circumstances. It is not an easy road you have chosen. I will not turn back, Egwene said. Be that as it may, but you still want reassurance, and I cannot give it to you. Not in the way you want. And then they go on talking about how Egwene sees through rose-colored glasses. And, human's human. And then at one point, Egwene asks Moraine, why did the Trollocs come to Emmonsfield? And Moraine looks directly at Rand's hiding spot.
Because she not stupid.
Right.
You think she didn't hear that twig?
Right.
She ain't saying nothing that you couldn't hear.
But why do you think she knows it's Rand, though?
Because he's the one. She knows exactly who it is. But,
Okay.
just to be sure, she snatched up the other two. But it's him.
Okay. So they finally, in almost 10 days, they get to Bearlawn.
Ooh, stinking asses.
Just
I can't believe nobody. I can't believe nobody ain't say nothing to them. Like, whoo.
You didn't tell me I smelled like this the entire time?
Go straight to the inn. Do not pass go. Do not collect
$200.
Don't go to no markets. Don't see no merchant guards. Baby, y'all stank.
So they get there and everyone is all bugging out because they've never seen a city before. So Tom is rolling his eyes like, oh, y'all think this is a city? You country bumpkins. Right. Apparently Moraine and Lan are incognito because in Bearlawn they're known as Mistress Alice and Master Andra. So they get to the gate, and once the guard sees that it's Mistress Alice and Master Andra, they're let into the city because this is a gated community. This is a gated city.
They are the gated
so
community.
A lot of the cities are walled. They're enclosed by wall, and then you have a guard, and the guard has to open the gate and let you in. Okay, so the guard happens to mention that there are children of the light in the city. Did you read the glossary?
I did. They give me gosh, I'm debating on whether I should say this. Okay, here we go. They give me real Nation of the Gods and Earth energy.
Oh, snap.
They give me real 5% Nation energy, where it's like, because they said something about hold on, let me let me read it at the glossary. Because I said, oh,
I thought you would have said Israelites.
Yes. Yes. It's the Israelites.
Listen, no shade.
You're right.
No shade to the nation of the gods and earth.
No, that is what I was raised in. That is my parents.
No shade to the Israelites.
But it was giving. It was definitely giving. Where is it? Okay.
A society holding strict ascetic beliefs, dedicated to the defeat of the Dark One and the destruction of all Dark Friends. Founded during the War of the 100 Years by Lothar Mantelar to proselytize against increasing numbers of Dark Friends. They evolved during the war into a completely military organization, extremely rigid in their beliefs and completely certain that only they know the truth and the right. They hate Aes Sedai, considering them and any who support or befriend them Dark Friends. They are known
disparagingly.
Thank you. As White Cloaks. Their sign is a golden sunburst on a field of white. So everyone else calls them White Cloaks because their cloaks are white. But they're known as the Children of the Light. So the Children of the Light are in town. And so that's always a concern.
Yeah. Bibles up.
Right. And then they finally arrive at the inn. They go into, they get in and they go to the inn. And the inn is called the Stag and Lion.
Yeah. Yay, stag and lion.
And that's how we end chapter 13. Do you want to go on to chapter 14?
Yeah, because I think that's
before we get
stuff
into
gets juicy.
A couple of things from chapter 13, if you don't mind me going over. I just wanted to know Keba's feelings about them or reactions to them. Okay, so basically when Rand and Egwene was going back and forth, being mad loud, and Lan was just like, I want to shut up. The whole world could basically hear you guys yelling at each other. Basically, it got kind of far, and Rand was just like, that Aes Sedai are dark friends. Basically, Moraine, she basically comes in and is just like, you guys think that you're out of the storm. Basically, you think that people, they're not still looking for you. She was just like, the Dark One is after you three, one or all, and whatever the Dark One wants, I oppose. Before I let him have you, I'll destroy you myself first. What did you think about that, Keba?
I said she on a mission. she has been given her orders. And she cannot go back to Tarvalon until those orders are complete, which is to either bring this fool in or snap his neck because he wouldn't cooperate.
Which fool you think someone gave her orders, or is she on her own?
I think somebody gave her orders.
Okay.
I think now the
hierarchy.
What do you call them?
Amerlin.
The Amerlin
the
seat,
seat in the hall of the tower.
The hall of the tower. Yeah, I think they were.
Think
I think they got together and was like, so the Dark One said that it was going to be some little curly head redhead boy up in the country. Find any curly head redhead boy in the country and gone ahead and bring him back because if the Dark One gets him, then boom, the series is real short. So they said, go ahead and get him. So I think that's what she was saying. She was just like, because if he gets you, all hell's gonna break loose, and I can't have that happen. So I would have to kill you. But I'd prefer to not kill you. So if you just shut the fuck up and come along, this would be great.
Do you think that was the best approach to it, though?
She sounded very motherly to me in my head. Because I feel like my mother has told me many a thing like that. She
will kill you first.
I brought you in this world, and I will simply take you out. That has been my mother's motto and theme for me since birth.
I've definitely been threatened by my mom.
Yeah, because
my mom has definitely threatened to kill me on occasion.
You are not going to embarrass me.
Right.
You are not going to embarrass yourself. You're not going to embarrass this family name.
Right.
You're not going to bring any reprieve or reproach to you. No, I will take you out myself. Particularly for dangerous situations, right? You want to be a gangbanger? You want to be a crip? I kill you myself before I let that happen. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
I mean, that was a fake scenario. I did not want to be a crip, guys. I wasn't whatevering. No, but I was a good kid. But, very much like black mothers determined not to lose their children to the streets will use that. And that's what I felt from Moiraine. She was just like, I will literally take you out myself before I let the Dark One have you. So pack your sack, get on this horse, and let's go. I don't want to hear another word from you until we get to Tarvalon.
Right. Don't ask for nothing.
Don't say nothing.
No, we're not going to McDonald's.
Right, because we ain't got McDonald's money, baby. You better eat this dry meat and cheese.
No, we not buying
what's in the sack.
Right. Eat what's in the sack. We're not going to McDonald's.
Yeah, man.
I have a couple other things basically to ask you about.
Yes.
So we're being introduced more so, even though Moiraine is the only Aes Sedai that you have met just yet, but we're being introduced to that world a little bit, But Moiraine kind of gives Egwene a little bit of a kind of a warning or something, basically. So she's basically asking them, she's like, didn't the men destroy the earth or whatever? And she's like, you want me to give you some kind of comfort or whatever like that, basically. I can't give you that. She's just like, in the tower, there are good women and not so good
because
women.
Humanity.
Exactly. It's basically
people are human.
Yeah. So, did you have any kind of thoughts about that? Basically, what she was just like, that basically, well, she was trying to let her know also. She was like, yes, the men, broke the world, but at the same time, they were insane. They were not evil. So it's kind of basically, kind of lending a humanity thing to it, balance to it, basically, where there are good and there are evil. So is there any type of things that you're thinking about at all as far as Aes Sedai in a whole? It's a large group of women, basically. So it's not like 2 or 3 of them.
So that's interesting because something did in my themes, and let me see if I can pull up the page. I made note and it says Aes Sedai are no different than any other woman except for the ability that sets them apart. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh. So there's good Aes Sedai, there's bad Aes Sedai. Mm-hmm. There's, skinny Aes Sedai, there are plus size Aes Sedai. Mm-hmm. There are black Aes Sedai, there are white Aes Sedai, right? So they are more of a representation of humanity as a whole, and it's not necessarily because they have this power that makes them all the same, right? So what I was saying, here's the whole quote. It says, the Aes Sedai you will find in Tar Valon are human, no different from any other woman except for the ability that sets us apart. They are brave and cowardly, strong and weak, kind and cruel, warm-hearted and cold. Becoming an Aes Sedai will not change you from what you are. So what I wanted to talk about theme-wise was this idea or this notion that joining something or becoming a part of something or partaking in something is going to change you, right? Mm-hmm. Like winning the lottery is going to change my life but being a member of this organization is going to change me when all it does is really bring out who you are in your core and in your center. Like it actually illuminates your true identity as opposed to your facade. And so like I wanted to talk about this idea of joining organizations. And we laugh because
that's so funny.
Shar is a part of an organization, and I can only imagine the ways in which this organization illuminated your true self as opposed to completely changing you. But let me ask, did you have this idea that when you joined your specific organization that you would be changed?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Keba.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I have been a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated since 1994. And it's so funny. Initially, my perception of sororities and fraternities, I thought that they were really cliquish. And I didn't get them. And then I eventually learned more about them and then became interested in joining. And as you know, the historically black sororities and fraternities, what we affectionately call the Divine Nine, they have stereotypes. And I wondered about those stereotypes. If you fit one stereotype, does that mean you automatically have to join a specific organization? So I chose my organization despite stereotypes and things like that. But what's interesting is I have a friend who we're still very, very, very good friends. So in undergrad, we were student activists on campus. And I was very much active in a lot of the events that, at my school, Penn State, Penn State. Shout out to Happy Valley.
All day.
So our version of like a black student union, the organization was called the Black Caucus.
Okay.
So I was a member of the Black Caucus, and being black at a PWI, predominantly white institution, there's always lots of opportunity for activism. Being black at a predominantly white institution. So I was very active in that regard. And one of my friends, he was very active with me. And so once I started pursuing interest in my sorority, he later told me that he was afraid that I was going to change. Because some people seemingly do change when they join organizations. He thought that I was going to stop being the activist that I was. And I didn't. I joined the organization. I supported whatever community service opportunities we had and whatever programming that we did on campus, in addition to the student activism that I was already involved with. I never let that falter. And I remember showing up to an event. I think it might have been a town hall. Something happened. Something's always happening at Penn State, and we got to have a town hall about it. And, talk about what are we going to do? What is our reaction going to be? Are we going to protest? Are we going to write an article in the student newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to make any demands? Because something happened. I don't remember. And I show up to the meeting and he was like, oh my goodness, I'm surprised that you're here. I'm like, why are you surprised? So I really thought that once you became a Zeta, that you would not be interested in, and I'm like, not be interested in Black folks?
As I joined up for
like, I'm just going to stop loving Black people and stop wanting my people to be free. Shout out to Mos Def, aka Yasin Bey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was still the same Sharnice, I just had my hands in, different pots now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can use that activism in the sorority. So yeah, as I read these books,
mm-hmm.
there are a lot of parallels when I think about Aes Sedai and becoming an Aes Sedai and choosing choosing a color, right? Because as some of you know, the D9, sororities and fraternities, each sorority and fraternity, we have our own color. Mm-hmm. scheme, and
mm-hmm.
my sorority, our colors are royal blue and white, and so
mm-hmm.
it's like I chose the royal blue and white.
Aja.
Right? Aja, right? But I'm definitely hip hop Aja all day. I'm hip hop Aja.
Period.
Yeah,
period.
hip hop Aja. We're purple Aja. But yeah, thank you for that question, Mickey.
Yeah, I love that because again, it's this idea, and it always seems that other people have that idea of someone else,
mm-hmm.
right? It's always like, oh, I'm going to join this organization and I'm going to continue to be my dopeness.
Right.
But if John over there joins that organization, he going to change. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always these presumptions that people put on other people as opposed to themselves. So if it wouldn't change me, right, it would only bring on my dopeness. Why would it not do the same for you?
Right.
Right. And if I notice that things are different with someone who has joined an organization, or I like to use the lottery because that seems to be the more relatable thing, right? Like if you win the lottery, you are suddenly a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And things start to move differently, then I just understand that your facade is falling because you have now found comfort in this newfound fortune, and that your truer self is actually starting to surface.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Thinking about Egwene.
Yep.
The first minute she could find the time to, she unbraided her hair.
Yeah.
Right? She's hanging around Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
She's being told that she can become an Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
So she's starting, I think, to model, because Moraine's hair is not braided.
Right.
And so she says, yeah, Aes Sedai don't have to braid their hair if they choose not to. So she's choosing not to braid her hair.
Choices.
Right? Choices.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Egwene actually makes it to Tarvalon, goes through whatever process they have, and becomes an Aes Sedai, how much of Egwene from Emond's Field will still remain, do you think, if she becomes an Aes Sedai? She's already started to change, because she's been waiting to get, like, that was one of her goals, right? Remember from the Ravens prologue, my next goal is I'm going to get my hair braided early. Yeah. She couldn't wait to get her hair braided early. Yeah. And as soon as she was given the okay by the women's circle to get her hair braided, now she's like, wait, I have a new goal. I want to be an Aes Sedai. The only Aes Sedai that I know does not braid her hair. So I'm not going to braid my hair. So what do you think about that in terms of joining an organization and it changing you?
I don't think it changed her. I think Egwene is very goal driven.
Yes.
And those goals don't define who she is.
Okay.
And so as she goes along, right, because she wanted this adventure, she wanted to go out and be cultured and see the world.
Yes.
And so I always assumed that her braid was coming down at some point because she didn't define herself by the braid. Right. That was just a goal she wanted to accomplish. I want my hair braided. Because remember, with your hair braiding comes, partnering and marriage and babies, and she didn't want that. She just wanted the braid because the braid signifies I can do what I want. She wanted to go out and be cultured.
Gotcha.
So her taking her braid out is like, all right, well, I did the braid. I got what I wanted to do.
Right.
Now I don't need it anymore.
Because I'm an adult now.
Because
the braid signified me.
Right. Being
my
able
right.
to
That was my rite of passage into adulthood.
Make my own choices.
As is the name of the
chapter.
As
is the name of the chapter. So what I try to do when I read these chapters is I read the name of the chapter and then I try to find it in the chapter to see why is it named this, what's the theme. And so once she got that braid in, she was like, cool, done, bam. I'm outside of Emmonsfield, I'm outside of the Two Rivers, I'm in a totally different place. I don't need the braid.
Right.
I understand now. This was a goal. I accomplished the goal. I can take this out now because now it doesn't mean anything to me. So the next goal is becoming an Aes Sedai. Well, what are the things that I have to do now to become an Aes Sedai? Right? She's very methodical like that. She sets a goal and then all right, so if I'm going to be the best water carrier, that means I got to hike my skirt up. I have to get this many inches into the water. I got to carry 2 buckets at a time. I got to not make no stops. I got to take the shortest route. I got to get the, she's very methodical. So now she's on her next goal of becoming an Aes Sedai. Well, I'm going to take this braid out. I'm going to try to mimic Moiraine as much as possible, right? Because she is what I have as a reference to be an Aes Sedai.
Correct.
So I'm going to, all right, if she's hiking her skirt up, I got to hike my skirt up too. When she's sitting straight on her horse, I got to straighten my back too.
Right.
And when she becomes an Aes Sedai, she's going to check that off and she's going to find what her next goal is. She's the overachiever.
Yes.
I feel
definitely.
seen. So, I see it. She's, again, very
is she
methodical.
Or Virgo.
She's both. It's like
Virgo.
I think she's more Virgo. She's giving more Virgo energy.
But the fire, she's got them both in the chart. I have Virgo in my chart.
Fire. Yeah, so
I'm Aries.
Maybe her moon is in Aries.
I'm Aries facing, forward facing. When people see me, they're like, oh, you're riled up. You're fired up. But in my chart, my next immediate sign is Virgo. And that, you see it. My counters are very organized. And when we do the show, our outline is very, I'm very...
Let me tell y'all something.
I see your copy of the book. Your copy of the book has so many flags and different things.
The flags, and I take their highlights.
Let me tell y'all
all
something.
over the place and sticky notes.
I have never felt less put together.
I'm married to a Virgo. I understand.
Oh, yes.
Then when I showed up at Keba's house to record the first episode of this podcast, I sat down. Keba had given me a cup of water. She gave me a printout with the outline of what we were about to discuss. And yes, her book has little tabs on it. It's highlighted. She has sticky notes in there.
Yeah.
And
it'll be tore up yet.
Our first book discussion, I didn't have anything written down. I'm just like, I read these books. Let's talk about it.
Well, you weren't reading them to discuss them. You were just reading them for leisure. So
absolutely.
The circumstances are different. Don't, be too hard on yourself. But...
No, I'm not hard on myself. I'm just
she said, girl, please.
that you are very organized.
Yeah.
And I am not.
Yeah.
In my Aquarius brain.
I see Egwene. I see her. I feel seen through Egwene.
Yes.
Right? Where it's like, I'm going to cuss you out because you talking cash shit right now. So do you just want to fight, Rand? You just want to fight?
Right.
Because what you're not going to do is tell me who I am. Right. And that was another thing that I had noted was the conversation between Rand and Egwene about her taking her braid out. And she's trying to tell him, look, I'm an Aes Sedai now, baby. Or in training, at least, right?
Right.
I got to move differently now. You know what I'm saying? I have these goals. These goals require X. So I need to shift my energy to that X. And he's like, you ain't no Aes Sedai. Don't tell me what I am. Don't tell me who I am. And it always makes me want to fight as I boil my fist. And it always makes me feel violent when someone tries to define who I am. And so I want to talk about... I was literally talking to myself in the notes. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the note as is. The conversation with Rand and Egwene about her taking her braid out. She telling him that she is an Aes Sedai and him insisting that she is not. brings me to a place where people spoke for me and mislabeled me and were committed to misunderstanding me. If I say I'm this thing, then I'm this thing. Why am I writing like this? What is the argument about? Why do you insist that I am not that thing or that I'm something else? What gives people the audacity to insist on defining you as opposed to being able to define yourself to someone else?
Right.
So have you been in an experience where you have had to like plant 2 feet down with someone or something even to be able to define yourself?
Yes. I've been in plenty of situations where I've had to correct some folks and say, hey, that's not who I am. I'm not going to get into any specifics.
Yeah.
But absolutely, because people make assumptions. And that's something that was talked about at a recent conference that I attended. One of the workshops in the conference, one of the presenters, we were talking about giving elevator speeches or filling out on your LinkedIn profile the very first thing, that about you section, the very first section of the LinkedIn profile. And the presenter was saying how important it is to not let the reader of your LinkedIn profile, your resume, or the listener of your elevator speech to have to make any assumptions. You tell them who you are.
You know where I want to go with that, right?
Show them who you are.
Angela Bassett did the thing.
Yes.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, Auntie. Yes, tell them who you are. Don't allow the other person to fill in the blanks.
Right.
So the presenter was saying it's very common to say, I'm goal driven. Yeah. I'm a hard worker.
Yes.
Great. Everybody is.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Specifically. What exactly does that mean?
Right.
And so that was definitely telling for me, because I've been in situations where I would let other people fill in the blanks, and I would have to say, you know what, actually, that's not who I am. And when I say certain things, that's not what I mean, So yes, I can relate to that.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I'm the kind of person who, and it took me a really long time to get here, but in my growth journey, I'll say, I've come to this place where I've learned to not care about the opinions of other people when it comes to me.
Right.
And particularly when it comes to people who are committed to misunderstanding me.
Right.
Right. We said this episode 0, we are not a monolith.
Not
right.
at all.
So when you see me with my locks, with my belly, with my whatever, doesn't mean that I'm just like the next girl that you met with locks and is a little overweight or whatever.
Correct.
And so it took me a really long time to be able to allow people to have their opinions about me, because that ain't none of my business.
Right.
Your opinions about me are literally none of my business.
Because I'm drinking water.
And
minding my business.
And period. That's it. But also I can understand the danger in that. And allowing people to kind of run rampant with whatever, opinions or thoughts that, well, not necessarily opinions, but whatever conception that they have created about you. Because your reputation always seems to precede when you walk through rooms. And, I would hate to be in a room where somebody is just like, oh, I heard about you and I just assumed, you this or you that. And these opinions were made before you even had an opportunity to define yourself to this person.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic and an interesting balance because, it's easy to say, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. But there are certain instances where you need to define yourself. Yeah. And you need to not allow other people to define you. Yeah. Don't let other people define you. Even something as simple, this is a silly example. When I'm in a cab, a Lyft or Uber, and the driver changes the radio station. Oh. Because they think
I told them to change it back every single time.
Change it back, please.
Yes.
I was digging what you was playing.
Yeah.
You do not have to put on the hip hop station.
It's always Hot 97.
Always Hot.
People always Hot 97.
And right now it's whack. So you can
have
put
not
on
listened to Hot
Oh.
97. I think the last time I listened to Hot 97 was like when Biggie died or something like that. Like I
Listen,
literally
and
do
before
not listen
that
to
even.
like, I mean, like no shade to Hot 97. I'm just a woman of a certain age now, and
I'm gonna be a little shady. I wasn't hot since the 90s.
I'm not into
Star and Buck
current
like
hip-hop
last time.
right now.
Period. The morning show. That was it. That
You
was
know what I'm
it.
saying? So
And
when
Angie Marr.
I get in a cab, please don't turn to Hot 97.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear that. I don't
I
even
can
know
rock
what
to
that
Z100
is.
real quick.
Whatever's
Alanis
Yo.
Morissette, whatever you want to put on there, I'm cool with that too.
right.
Exactly.
KTU, like I'm good with that. Like
Elvis
on.
Duran on. What
Right.
time is it?
Put on
come on.
the
Like don't do that.
Put on the oldies
Just 'cause
station
you-
real
you
quick,
see
and let's
me.
go to some old school
Yeah,
R&B
Give me a
soul.
little Motown if you
You know
feeling
what I'm
like
saying?
it. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right. Assume that I
I
want
feel you.
that, right?
Mhm. I won't say no to that.
Yeah, I'm never
People
gonna say no.
people make
to
assumptions,
you know.
especially when you like if you're not one of those people who walk around, expounding your entire life story. They basically feel like they could just fill in all the blanks already and just look at you. I'm just like, sometimes I don't even decide to drop knowledge about myself because I done forgot all the lives that I've lived. I mean,
How about that?
I'm
How about
43, and sometimes I think about it, like, damn, I did that too. God damn,
Yeah.
what was I thinking? And I forget half of the achievements that some people could be like, oh yeah, you should put on your resume. I'm like, I completely forgot about I even did that. You know what I mean? So I hate when people make assumptions about me or try to put me into any kind of box just because I'm understated.
Right. Yeah.
Or or because I'm not like, it's funny because I'm actually a Aries, Leo, Taurus in my
In your chart.
in my chart, but I don't feel the Leo that much sometimes. But it's because I'm just like, I'm not like, oh yeah, I did this and I did that, and here's my resume. Wow, you know what I'm saying? I don't. But at the same time, that don't mean you need to fill in the blanks on your own. Just let me be me, and that's the reason, honestly, why that elevator speech is probably like my weakness on a resume, because I could tell you specifically what I did, but to sum up me in 3 lines at the top of a resume, it's hard as shit.
Yeah.
I feel like also it's interesting, again, just kind of staying on this topic a little bit. The first person who I had to define myself to was my parents.
How about that? That happens a lot.
Yeah.
That
because
happens
they
a
were
lot.
insistent on not allowing me to adult.
Because parents
Parents be parenting.
what we have to remember is that when we're raising humans, regardless of what we want for them, they are humans as well.
Yeah.
And they know what they want, and they know who they are, and we have to let them be.
Yeah.
We have to let them be. But we've definitely gone off on a tangent.
Yes.
As is the WoT In Color way.
Listen, it was giving. It was giving, so we gave it.
Yes,
so
we did.
thank you. But let's move on.
Let's move on to chapter 14. Chapter titles, The Stag and Lion, which is the inn that they just walked into. The chapter's symbol is the dragon's fang.
Is it the dragon's fang? So the dragon fang is the point down.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
I was making sure.
The other one is
point up.
Is considered the flame of Tarvalon.
Oh, we didn't get there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's considered the flame of Tarvalon. Yeah. So they get to the inn. It's really, really busy. The the innkeeper is bowing and scraping basically to Mistress Alice and Master Andra, just apologizing for the fact that it's full, that it's crowded, but we'll do, I'll do my best. Don't worry about it. Matt and Perrin is looking in the common room like that looks like fun because there's a lot of laughter and swinging. But Rand wants to take a bath.
Listen. They should all want to take baths.
Rand wanted to go into the common room, but he said, nah, Lan actually goes into the common room to find out some news, and Rand wanted to follow, but he said, "No, I need to bathe." And Matt and Perrin started scratching.
Right.
Yeah, we probably need to take
And
baths
like,
too.
They're gonna thank me later.
Yeah. So Moiraine asks Master Fitch, who is the innkeeper of the Stag and Lion, about the White Cloaks. I understand you have Children of Light. What's good with that? And he's assuring her that, don't even worry about them. They're claiming there's an Aes Sedai in town. So obviously Master Fitch doesn't know that Mistress Alice is actually an Aes Sedai.
Right.
So she's like, but don't worry about that. They're just trying their little tricks. Rest assured, there's no Aes Sedai here. Don't you worry.
Right.
Mistress Alice. Don't worry about Aes Sedai.
Don't you worry about that.
They're not here. So then Moiraine asks about somebody named Min. I want to talk to Min. Is she around? And so at that moment, because we're still in Rand's head, folks come to get them to say, let me show you to the tub.
Yeah, because I smell y'all.
Yeah.
Smell y'all outside.
Right. So they get, they get into the bathroom, I guess. And there's a dozen copper bathtubs. So apparently taking baths is a community event.
Oh, child.
So anyway, they get in their tubs and they're cleaning themselves, and the attendants are, attending to them, and Tom is like, we good, roll out. And so one of the attendants, his name is Ara, and he notices that the boys, they have weapons. And so they're like, wait, y'all got some trouble?
Y'all got blickies? What's really good?
What's good, right. Is there trouble down country where y'all from the two in the rivers or whatever? And Matt is like, the two rivers. Matt is all annoyed. And so Matt and his dumbass,
let me tell you,
it's like, let me tell you, think we got trouble? And he starts trying to talk about let me tell you, and they like, yeah, nah, we ain't got no trouble. Matt, oh please,
don't tell my stories.
Don't be telling Tom's stories. Tom tells the stories so much better. Matt is being a dummy. He don't understand. He's not picking up what they putting down. He's like, what are you talking about? I gotta tell y'all about the Trollocs. And Rand was like, listen, Tom is a gleeman. Matt thinks he can be a better gleeman than Tom. He's just trying to tell some Trolloc stories or blah, 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 blah. And Matt is like, what you talking about? And they just keep cutting him off because he's not picking up what any of them are putting down. Lan comes into the room and he lets the attendant leave or whatever. And Lan is like, good thing I got here when I did.
Because I heard your dumbass.
Your dumbass was about to tell the whole world about the Trollocs. And Matt didn't understand that, well, why can't I talk about Trollocs? Lan explains that it's not safe to even mention Trollocs, and then especially they're in a town where there are Children of the Light. If anybody has had an encounter with a Trolloc, well, why would you have an encounter with a Trolloc if you're not a dark friend?
Right.
So we don't want to bring attention to ourselves, so shut the fuck up,
The
Matt.
way I would have held him underwater until he just
damn
jerked.
This twitching.
Baby. Just start twitching.
So
let him up.
Let him up. Let's try this again.
So anyway, so they finish their bath or whatever, they get dressed and everything. And as they're leaving the bath chamber, Moiraine is standing at the end of the hall with a girl who might not be a girl because she had short hair and she had on men's clothing. And Moiraine said something to this girl. The girl looked at all of the boys, whatever, nodded her head, and then ran away. So Moiraine says, all right, now that y'all clean, let's go eat. And Rand is like, she didn't say nothing about that girl. And I'm like, Rand, mind your business. Like,
Rand, that's all he want to do is be in everybody else's business.
Right.
Meanwhile, how are your dreams, Rand?
Right. So they go in and...
what dreams?
Yeah, right? They go in and Master Fitch, the innkeeper, with his folks, they're bringing them food and everything. Master Fitch apologizes for the meal not being as grand as it could have been, but there's too many people. And Moiraine is like, oh no, this is a feast. We're good. And he's chopping it up. He's being a chatty patty. And Moiraine is like, no, we're good. And he finally leaves. And Lan kind of looks out the door and is like, all right, good, we can talk freely. He's gone now. And Egwene is like, well, why we can't trust the innkeeper? Like, I don't understand why people just don't go with the program. Like, we're being chased by evil things.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we say don't talk in front of people, don't talk in front of people. Anyway, they start talking. Moraine asks, Lan, what did you learn? Because he went into the common room. Because apparently, when people in the common room, they talk. They're drinking, they're talking. So what's the news? What did you learn? Because there's no newspaper, right? So that's how people learn their news. It's all word of mouth. So they confirmed that there was, in fact, a battle in Gildan. There was a war in Gildan, that was mentioned in the very, very beginning. And they said Logain was the victor. They mentioned someone named Logain. And they said there's a dozen different stories, but they all agree that Logain was the winner of this battle in Gildan. So Rand thinks Logain must be that false dragon.
Yeah.
That they were talking about. It never heard the name. And so Lan continues to talk about the news that he heard that there were some Aes Sedai that might have been killed, might not have been killed, not too sure. Some of them might even have gone over to Logain's side to support Logain. And Lan also says that there's no mention of any Murdraul, Trollocs, things like that. So there's no news of their little party. So they feel kind of safe, and the White Cloaks are not even thinking about them. So they feel like we're good here. And so Moraine says, all right, well, since we're good, maybe we'll let these country bumpkins explore the city for a couple of days.
Famous last words.
And then
what do you think is going to happen if they explore the city?
Of course, Matt's bumbling ass is gonna run into somebody dressed in all white, but he can't understand why they're dressed in all white, and they gonna start talking about motherfucking Trollocs.
So he's gonna see a white cloak.
I can't wait for them to snatch him up.
So next chapter, Matt is gonna see a white cloak.
He gonna be hanging upside down by his toenails, like, "Well, help me, I don't understand."
Okay. Oh my God, that's so funny. So basically, so they decide to stay at the inn for a couple of nights, that way they can explore the city and everything like that. So Rand is rooming with Tom and Lan, and Rand falls asleep, right? Tom goes downstairs. Tom goes downstairs to perform. Lan leaves the room. Rand falls asleep. And he has a dream. All right. So we're going to do a really quick overview of the dream. I just want to note just a couple of things. I'm not going to go into the whole dream.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's in the dream. The dream is weird as dreams are, or whatever. And at some point, there's a fireplace and there's a man standing in front of the fireplace. And the man says, "Once more we meet face to face." And in the man's eyes, there was flames in this man's eyes. So Rand is scared shitless and runs out the room, turns around. He's facing the same man, the same fireplace again. The man is like, "You can't get away from me," or whatever. So Rand's like, "This is a dream. I'm just going to wake up. This is a dream," blah, 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 blah. And he opened his eyes again. Man is still there. And so the man is taunting him. Is it a dream? Does it matter? Things like that. So he offers him something to drink. He's like, "You seem thirsty." So all of a sudden, there's a goblet filled with some liquid that wasn't there before. Rand is like, "You know what? I am a little thirsty."
Matter of fact,
now that you mention it,
I just had 2 cups of Kool-Aid,
right.
Sugar in it.
Is this grape or red?
It's a grape or red. QTA days.
You know what? I am thirsty. Now that you say it.
Did Big Mama make the Kool-Aid?
Who made the Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
So he decides at the last minute not to drink, right? So now he angry, like, what you want from me? Blah, 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 blah. So the man, he says, "Who are you?" And the man answers, "Some call me Baalzamon," right? So he names himself. So this is Baalzamon, right?
Let me get to my glossary while you finish up. Go ahead.
Are you going to glossary now?
I'm going to glossary him, but go ahead.
Okay. So now Rand thinks this is the Dark One. So Baalzamon asks Rand, "Are you the one?" Did you find something in the glossary?
I did. I I forget about it sometimes.
Okay, go ahead.
Baalzamon, who I have been calling Beelzebub because
because.
So they're cousins. They're cousins,
Yes, exactly.
clearly.
They can.
They can. That is a kin-ass name if I've ever heard one.
Right.
Baalzamon.
You and
In the
Beelzebub, get your ass up out this house.
So in the Trollic tongue, Heart of the Dark, believed to be the Trollic name for the Dark One.
Okay. Believed to be the Trollic name for the
Believed to be the Trollic name.
Okay. So Baalzamon, Beelzebub's cousin. Twice removed.
Because
On his
that's
daddy
important.
side.
On the daddy side.
Right. On the daddy side. The daddy got around, though, I'm saying.
Daddy got around, right? So Baalzamon says, "Are you the one? You cannot hide it from me forever. You cannot even hide yourself from me, not on the highest mountain or in the deepest cave. I know you down to the smallest hair." Which is funny to me because you're asking, are you the one? You can't hide from me. But then you say, I know you.
Mm-hmm. Down to the smallest hair.
Down to the smallest hair. So if you know me,
mm-hmm.
why are you asking me if I'm
my
the one?
pubic hair, but...
Right.
Everyone.
Baalzamon asks Rand, "Are you expecting glory, power? Did they tell you the eye of the world would serve you?" Look at that. That's the name of the book.
I got it highlighted and tagged, right?
Yes.
I was like, oh, here we go.
It's the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Did they tell you the eye of the world would serve you? What glory or power is there for a puppet? The strings that move you have been centuries weaving. Your father was chosen by the White Tower, like a stallion roped and led to his business. Your mother was no more than a brood mare to their plans, and those plans lead to your death.
He read him for filth.
So you know Rand, all he heard was my
daddy.
My father.
You talking about my pappy, now
my
we got
father.
to fight.
Right.
Okay.
Don't you talk about my daddy.
Talk about my daddy
And
like
my
that.
mama was a good woman. Don't you be talking about them. So then...
Kari was a good woman.
Yes. Kari was a good woman. Kari Althor. So then Baalzamon continues. So there is some spirit in you after all. Perhaps you are the one. Little good it will do you. The Amyrlin seat will use you until you are consumed. Just as Davion was used, and Urion Stonebow, and Gwaire Amalasan, and Rowland Darksbane. Just as Logain, and we just heard that name,
Yup.
is being used. Used until there is nothing left of you. So now Rand is all like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But if you Baalzamon, if you the Dark One, like, you are bound in Shio Gul, you and all the Forsaken, bound by the Creator until the end of time. Baalzamon replies, "The end of time? You live like a beetle under a rock, and you think your slime is the universe. The death of time will bring me powers such as you could not dream of, worm." And so Rand is, "You are bound. Fool! I've never been bound. I stood at Lews Theron Kinslayer's shoulder when he did the deed that named him."
Yep.
I stood at Lews Theron Kinslayer's shoulder when he did the deed that named him.
Highlight it. Mm-hmm.
It was I who told him to kill his wife and his children and all his blood and every living person who loved him or whom he loved. It was I who gave him the moment of sanity to know what he had done. What does that tell you?
It tells me that he is the Dark One.
It was I who gave him the moment of sanity to know what he had done.
He cursed him.
Okay. Recall the prologue.
Which one?
The actual prologue. The Dragon Mount prologue. Recall that prologue.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the prologue, a man named Elon, I forget his last name, came for Lews Theron. Lews Theron is crazy. He's straight 730.
Yes.
Elon is like, damn. You fucked up already? Lews Theron is like, oh, Ileana, we got company.
Elon Morin.
So Elon Morin is like, dude, are you dumb? Like, you killed your wife.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, nah, I'm here to take you. But before I take you, I'm going to give you a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Because I need you to be aware of what you've done. So he does something
Uh-huh.
to Luz Theron to make Luz Theron aware.
Yes.
So that he's not 730 anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when when he's aware, he looks around and he realizes that's Ileana on the floor, dead. Then he sees everyone else who's dead. He assumes that Elon killed everybody. And he's like, all right, now I gotta cut you. You done killed my wife and my kids. You done fucked up, right?
Yeah, now I got to shoot you.
Right? And Elon is like, idiot, who did that? Think about it. I ain't kill your wife, homie. It was you. And that's when he mountains, right? Because he goes, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this shit. So Elon gave him that moment of clarity.
Yeah.
So now back to the chapter that we're in. And he's saying, it was I who gave him the moment of sanity to know what he had done. What does that tell you?
Oh, he's the Elon character.
This is Elon. Al-Zaman is actually Elon from the prologue.
The moment of sanity. Right. Not insanity. The moment of sanity.
Right.
Yeah.
He temporarily gave him clarity. So he could see like, oh snap.
Okay. Got you. All right. So he's just out here playing in everybody's dreams and all right, I got him.
Okay. So he continues to talk and we're going to try to do this as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So he says, 1,000 years later, I sent the Trollocs ravening south, and for 3 centuries, they savaged the world. Those blind fools in Tar-Valon said I was beaten in the end, but the second covenant, the covenant of the 10 nations, was shattered beyond remaking. And who was left to oppose me then? I whispered in Archer Hawkwing's ear, and the length and breadth of the land Aes Sedai died.
That pissed me off. I highlighted that.
Okay. I whispered again, and the High King sent his armies across the Arith Ocean, across the World Sea, and sealed 2 dooms. The doom of his dream of one land and one people, and a doom yet to come. At his deathbed, I was there when his counselors told him only Aes Sedai could save his life. I spoke, and he ordered his counselors to the stake. I spoke, and the High King's last words were to cry that Tar-Valon must be destroyed. When men such as these could not stand against me, what chance do you have, a toad crouching beside a forest puddle? You will serve me, or you will dance on Aes Sedai strings until you die, and then you will be mine. The dead belong to me.
That was a succinct, that was a read.
It was a read. And Rand is still like, no, this is a dream. And Elon, do you think you are safe from me in your dreams? Look. And so now there's a rat on the table. The goblet
table.
There's just a rat just on the table, just chilling like, the fuck am I doing here? How the fuck I get here? Right? Rat minded his business. You know what I'm saying?
Probably just had him a slice of pizza.
Had him whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they have pizza in Berlin, but whatever they have.
Something, you know.
Honey cakes.
Oh, right.
He was, he was sniffing on something. And now he on the table in a dream. He in somebody's dream. Like, the fuck? And Baal-Zaman, a.k.a. Elon, basically kills the rat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, breaks the rat's back.
Which is
right?
Child.
Crazy. And he looks at Rand and is like, yeah, anything can happen in a dream, homie. Think you safe because it's a dream? And so he says, then go to the Aes Sedai. Go to the White Tower and tell them. Tell the Amyrlin seat of this dream. The man laughed. Rand felt the heat of the flames on his face. That is one way to escape them. They will not use you then. No, not when they know that I know. But will they let you live to spread the tale of what they do? Are you a big enough fool to believe they will? The ashes of many like you are scattered on the slopes of Dragon Mountain. So Rand is still insisting this is a dream. I'm going to wake up. Elon is like, will you? And so Elon points at Rand in the same way that Elon pointed at the rat when he broke the rat's back. And he crooked his finger. And Rand started screaming because it felt like his back was going to be breaking again. And then he woke up suddenly. He woke up. And he saw, that he was in the room, and he's like, wow, this has been a dream. And he's wondering, maybe Moiraine can help me with these dreams. Even though she asked you, homie, a long time ago. How are your dreams, Rand?
The way I would have just had to snuff him out so I can go on about the rest of my missions. I just cannot. I cannot.
So then that's it. Then he tries to go back to sleep. He tries to use the, the calmness of the void the way his father taught him. And he finally falls back asleep. It takes a long time, but he falls back asleep. And that's how we end chapter 14.
Ciao.
So, please tell me what you think about that encounter in the dream with Elon, aka Baalzamon, aka Beelzebub's second cousin twice removed on his daddy's side.
I'm starting to feel like these are not dreams per se.
Okay.
I feel like they are happening in a dream like state, but they are also some form of like foreshadowing.
Okay.
For him. Let me tell you about the part that really, 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 really pissed me off. I whispered in Arthur Hawking's ear, in the length and breadth of the land, Aes Sedai died.
You didn't like that,
bitch.
Did you?
If there's no Tarvalon, I'm throwing the book in the garbage. And WoT In Color is retiring early. Because what you mean ain't no Tarvalon? So, and here's what makes me think that
right
also.
there, book 4.
Right.
Yeah, it's over.
But before we even get here, there's something that's mentioned by the gatekeeper when they're coming into the city. And he says something like, oh no, since you've been here in a year's time, or when you were last here last year, or something like that, which lets me know. However, I mean, if a week is 10 days, then a year is not, it's longer than 365 days. So they've been gone. Essentially assuming that they came from Tarvalon to travel down into Emmonsfield to get Rand and the crew, to go back to Tarvalon. We looking like a 2.5, 3 year trip. But on the way in and coming back through Bearlawn, it took them at least a year. A lot of shit happens in a year. And so it sounds like Tarvalon has fallen and Moiraine and Lan have not heard word of it. Like they don't know that it's happened yet. And so they're gonna get to Tarvalon and ain't gonna be no Tarvalon. Which I'm telling y'all, if ain't no Tarvalon,
because that's your home, right?
That's my home. Don't. So yeah, we gonna have to take a break while I mourn because
dressed in all black like the old man.
Every single time, I'm dressed in all black today.
I'm dressed in all black today too.
Listen, we are in mourning, sister.
all 3 of us dressed in all black like the old man.
I cannot. Oh gosh, so I thought that was an interesting little.
Okay, so we'll put that on the prediction chart.
We're gonna put that in predictions.
We will add that to the prediction chart that there is no Tarvalon and only Lan and Moiraine have not received word yet. But it sounded like to me though in that exchange, Elon was talking about something that had happened already, perhaps in another age. Because he's talking about thousands of years this happened and things like that. So I'm just wondering if...
I have a question.
Yes.
Does LTT mountaineering, does that happen in this age? No, right?
It does not. It happens 3,000 years before we meet Rand and his father walking down.
So that's age.
Road.
That's last age 2.
That was the.
That was age 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So the wheel has turned, and we are now in age 3.
We're now in the third age.
Okay. I don't know. Something about that made me feel like, because I feel like what he's also doing is saying like, I did these things before, I can do them again very easily, especially if we got Logain out here, taking over cities like, in his sleep. And now he's got some Aes Sedai that are rolling with him.
Possibly,
because through the gossip.
Because telephone, right? The game of telephone. News travels, and they only have word of mouth for their news. So, So there's some gossip. He might have him some Aes Sedai, on his side.
So it's giving me...
And we know that Logain... So basically, Logain, we know for sure, because we were told that he can call lightning from the sky or whatever he can do. Logain can channel. This is a man who can channel. And so apparently there were Aes Sedai dispatched to deal with Logain.
Right, to try to
soothe
him, calm him, gentle him. That's what it's called.
It's called gentle, yes. And so the word on the street is some Aes Sedai died, possibly some Aes Sedai actually somehow switched over to Logain's side. Logain and they're calling Logain a false dragon. So Logain thinks that because he can channel, he's the dragon.
Right, until he goes crazy, and then they're like, oh, actually, that's not the dragon reborn. So he's about to go crazy. Oh,
is he gonna mountain?
I mean,
he's gonna... No, because to mountain means to self-destruct. Also, right? Like, it means anything you want it to mean, listener, friend, listeners. But specifically in the usage of the book, when LTT mountains, he self-destructs.
Okay.
And so I'm also kind of feeling like, let me just get into these predictions real quick.
Go ahead.
So I'm feeling like one of my predictions was wrong. I no longer think that Rand's mama was the Aes Sedai.
Okay.
I think it's Rand's daddy. Rand's true pappy, whether he likes to admit it or not. Mm-hmm. And I think it was something that was said in that monologue by old boy, where he was just like, your dad was handpicked by the Aes Sedai, and your mama was just a little, uterus oven for you to bake. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, So if they picked him to be the Dragon Reborn, that means they needed to get somebody who, again, we're thinking about reincarnations and hereditary passing down of certain things. And so I'm thinking they had to get somebody who had I'll say genetic makeup or the ability of some lineage or something from LTT to bear this child.
Okay.
And so
we're believing what Elon is saying in the stream.
I believe that part. I believe that they got his daddy to,
okay,
help them get the Dragon Reborn, because the Dragon Reborn, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the dragon being reborn will essentially, I want to ask you, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to tell me.
Let's see what the question is.
What does it mean if the dragon is reborn?
Should we answer that? Call me, what do you think?
I was about to say, what do you think? Okay, your question is, what does it mean when the dragon is reborn? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So let's say by book 2, Dragon Mount falls and Rand is like, I feel my full strength. I am the dragon reborn. Let me go channel my lightning or whatever. So let's say the dragon is reborn. Boom. And the prophecy, right, comes to light. What is that prophecy? What does it mean for the dragon to be reborn?
Okay, I believe...
Because I'm hearing some is self-destruction.
I believe that in chapter 2...
Did we talk about the prophecy?
A bit.
I think they talked about it a little bit.
And when Matt was talking about speaking to a merchant's guard, I think, he spoke about that the dragon would be reborn when if I could find the exact spot, I don't know exactly. I want to go back and look.
So go ahead. Go ahead and look for that. And while you're looking for that, I want to go back to the Dragon Mount prologue.
Okay.
So at the end of the Dragon Mount prologue, after LTT Mountains, there are 2 passages. Mm-hmm. And it's written as if this is some sort of scholarly document that was, because it says author unknown, the 4th age.
Right.
So this is from the 4th age. So we haven't reached the 4th age yet, right?
Oh, so this is the future. They're writing this in the future.
They're right. This is something that was written in the future, and so this is probably a scroll or some book or some in the library. There's this obscure book. It has this in here, and it says, so the second passage says, and it came to pass in those days. So in those days, that tells me they're just, even though this is the 4th age when this is written, they're talking about, this is like a history book.
Yeah.
Let me teach y'all what happened back in the day. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass in those days, as it had come before and would come again, that the dark lay heavy on the land and weighed down the hearts of men. And the green things failed, and hope died. And men cried out to the Creator, saying, "Oh, light of the heavens, light of the world, let the promised one be born of the mountain." Mm-hmm. according to the prophecies. Let the promised one be born of the mountain according to the prophecies, as he was in ages past and will be in ages to come. Let the prince of the morning sing to the land that green things will grow and the valleys give forth lambs. Let the arm of the Lord of the dawn shelter us from the dark, and the great sword of justice defend us. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time. And this is from a book, I guess, called the Charles-Drianin Te Kalaman, which translates to The Cycle of the Dragon.
Okay.
So there's a book called The Cycle of the Dragon. The author is unknown. This was written in the 4th age. And it's saying, let this promised one be born again, as according to prophecies.
So like the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. So the prophecy, I don't think we've really gotten into the prophecy too deep. Aside from that.
Not yet.
It's in the glossary.
Oh, so the glossary tells you.
So Dragon
then
Reborn.
forget that. Okay.
According to prophecy and legend.
I found that spot too. Just so y'all know, I found that spot that Matt said.
Oh, okay. So let's hear Call Me Nicole Me what she found before we read the glossary.
Okay.
Right.
Because I feel like we're cheating if we read the glossary.
That's what it's there for now.
Okay, cool.
Un poco.
Just a little, right?
Oh, wow.
So,
Go ahead.
From the book, and this is basically because I don't want to say exactly what it is, because Keba, I don't want to ruin anything and give you any kind of spoilers, specifically by what the reader knows as of right now along with you. From chapter 3, The Peddler, basically Matt says, I heard a story once, Matt said slowly, from a wool buyer's guard. He said the dragon would be reborn in mankind's greatest hour of need and save us all.
Yeah, that's basically what the glossary said. The glossary.
So
that's the savior. That's Jesus.
Neo.
Hallelujah.
Jesus. James
Neo,
Holden.
right.
James Holden. Which one y'all want for today?
Right. Okay. So
basically that's the Dragon Reborn.
Okay.
For now.
That's
what we know
That's
as of
what we
now.
know.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna stick with that prediction.
Okay.
So Rand's daddy is the Aes Sedai.
So Rand's daddy can channel.
Rand's daddy can. Well, Rand can channel too, but I think Rand is like the chosen. Like I think he is the chosen one.
You think Rand is the Dragon Reborn?
Rand is the Dragon Reborn.
Okay.
Just because he looks different?
But Elon
Racist.
doesn't know. Oh, so she said you racist.
Damn.
It seems like Elon doesn't know. Like Elon is asking, "Are you the one?"
Well, because he hasn't. Again, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? He hasn't woken up on his 16th birthday floating above his bed. I think the only people who are like really, really close to knowing are Moiraine and Lan, and Beelzebub's cousin twice removed from his daddy's side, Fireface. Fireface. Elon. Every time you say that, I want to say Musk, but
Musk. I mean, it doesn't help that his last name actually starts with an M.
Yes,
right. Ridiculous.
Right.
And isn't it ironic?
Right.
Don't you think?
So, so I'm feeling like they know, but they don't have the confirmation that they need to confirm it.
Okay.
Which is also why she snatched up Perrin and she snatched up Mac. She's like, I think it's him. I'm feeling something with him, but I'm not. I need the thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I need the thing to happen. And so because that thing hasn't happened yet, they cannot be 100% sure.
And
well,
I
one
think
thing
she
I want us to
some,
remember...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shep.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want us to remember that when the Trollocs attacked Emmons Field, the houses that they destroyed, they chose the forge that Perrin was working at. They chose Matt's house. And they went out into the Westwood
and got
Rand's house.
Right.
And Moiraine also mentioned
whoever.
Sorry.
Yeah. So no, it's fine. Whoever sent the Trollocs, told them these are the houses.
Well,
so
whoever sent the Trollocs.
So Fireface sent the Trollocs. That's
because he gave them. So Fireface sent the Trollocs because he gave them a name that is Trolloc language. So I feel like Fireface is like the second to last boss, and then you've got like your drag cars, and then you've got your Myrtles,
Koopa.
and then you've got Narg, and then you've got Trollocs, right?
Because Narg is above the rest of the Trollocs.
Yes, absolutely. Narg was the lieutenant, okay? So yes, I think in the hierarchical scheme of it, he is above. He controls the Trollocs, so I think that's why he was just like, "Are you the one?" And I wonder if we'll get there. Probably if Matt and Perrin are having similar dreams and not saying anything.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also, but I'm feeling like the way that Rand is acting, Perrin and Matt seem a little bit more not even kill, because Matt
want to tell everybody about Trollocs. Boy,
right,
let me tell you.
If he was as, frightened day and night as Rand was, then he probably would shut the fuck up.
But you know what? We don't even know, because we've only been in Rand's head.
And can we please
get out of Rand's head?
Can we go I will go into Matt, and I hate Matt. I will go there for just a minute.
This Bella's head. Let me just go into Bella's head for one chapter.
Right. I will trot right along with her as
this bitch don't know she's fucking heavy.
She's like, so are they gonna give me some dry meat? Because I too am
a little hungry right now.
Where's my hay?
All right.
I actually would like the fresh water. Don't give me the stale one. But so Rand's father is an Aes Sedai. The Eye of the World was mentioned, and then there was no detail given about it. That is the name of the book. I think that's kind of fucked up. But anyway, I'm going to assume, Keba's asking that prediction, I'm going to assume that the Eye of the World is another reference for either the Dark One or the actual breaking of the world.
The event.
The event of the breaking of the world.
That's your other prediction.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what Eye of the World stands for?
Yeah, that's what it means. I can't. I'm scared to go to the glossary because I like that's cheating. Anyway, so
the glossary is, I don't think it's bad to go to the glossary, because they did a pretty good job of not completely spoiling things in the you know what I'm saying? So a later book's glossary will have more information.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, so your glossary probably doesn't have as much information as my glossary?
No, I mean a later book, maybe book 5's
glossary. Okay.
Will be, will reveal a little more as things have been revealed. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Sense.
It can't completely. I read the glossary my first time, because I was like, I don't know what's happening in this damn book. And when I realized it was a glossary back there, I went back there a lot to try to understand, what is this world that I'm in?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't read the glossary.
Okay, good, because I'm fitting to.
But I think I would.
It makes for a better conversation when I'm absolutely incorrect.
No, I think what makes for a better discourse is when we pull just from the book.
Okay.
Instead of pulling from the glossary. As you peruse the glossary. Go ahead, call me. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, the world isn't even in there.
Okay, I will say one thing that I did, and I'm not going to say unwittingly, basically, but do not go to the wiki.
No.
She's not doing anything.
I'm not allowed.
She's not allowed.
Yeah.
No one told me.
Look at anything on the internet. She is banned from the internet. Yeah. In terms of Wheel of Time. Just don't look at anything. Don't follow anyone yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? On Twitter, on IG. Don't do it.
Don't do the wiki. You'll get the entire life read, and it's gonna be like, damn. Okay, well, that just gave me all the way up to chapter 13. Yeah, spoilery. Book 13. You don't want the wiki, and I wish, and obviously what the wiki is going to give you, but me, I'm the kind of person who's just like, well, what's in the box? So I'm going to basically look. You can't just put the box in front of me. I'm not going to go look at it, basically. But definitely don't do that to yourself. I spoiled something that comes in the last book all the way around, say, second, third book, and it kind of ruined, not ruined it. It didn't ruin it. I still love the entire, ride, but at the same time, it will ruin something real quick, basically. But one little thing from when we were talking about why she chose to take Perrin and Matt also. She did mention that
Right.
they were also born within 2 weeks of
Yeah.
Matt. I mean,
Yeah,
of Rand. So she probably was just like, all right, well, we just go ahead and grab y'all because that time basically, I guess, is important.
Yeah.
I don't think me putting myself in a space where I haven't read I'm pretending that I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Okay.
Right? Just based on what we've read so far, I would imagine that Moiraine is not sure herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the three boys were born damn near
close
at the
together,
same
yeah.
time. Because those three boys, their homes
Uh-huh.
were destroyed and nobody else's.
Uh-huh.
I don't
They
think
probably
she knows
don't know either.
I think she has an inkling.
And so I think she said the Dark One wants the three of you for whatever reason.
One or all.
Right.
I think she has an inkling. I
Okay.
think when they were in the woods and she stared through that tree and at Rand, I think she was starting to get an idea. And when she asked that boy how his dreams were, I think she was starting to get an idea.
That she's leaning towards Rand.
She's leaning towards Rand. Her energy is pulling her towards Rand. The other bumbling fool, she's praying it's not him, and I understand.
Please don't
don't
mad.
let it be this fool. don't let it be, because I will take him out myself.
Please don't
all
be
right,
mad.
I said it once, and Perrin is really quiet.
Perrin is very quiet.
I would love a Moiraine.
Perrin is the introvert of the crew.
Perrin, I see you. I feel you. I understand you. I don't want to talk either. Shit. But she's leaning toward him. And so I said with Rand, I don't think that those are just dreams. I think that's kind of like the experiences he's gonna have through this book. Probably towards the end. I think it's giving foreshadowing energy. It's giving like in book 14, he's gonna run into Fireface and it's gonna be a thing where it's like, do you remember in book 1 when I broke the rat's back? Like it's gonna
Do you remember in book 1?
What's your name again? Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
That's my cousin.
It's my cousin. No,
my cousin is Beelzebub. I'm Beelzebub. Damn it. Put some respect on my name. Now, do you remember in book 1?
You were in Belwan. You remember that?
When I broke
you was wet.
the rats.
Stag and the lion. The rats. I broke the back.
He's gonna be pointing at him like, you don't remember this?
You don't remember me?
You don't
Put my
remember
finger
me?
on your face.
What's up? How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
He's like, I will pause. Go back. Go back to the
Go
dream.
back to book 1. Rand, go read book 1 again. And remember.
I gotta work on rebranding
Oh my God.
myself.
That one got me teary.
I gotta rebrand myself. These flames ain't working. The flames.
Right?
It's not.
I need a new gig.
Fast as wings.
I need a new gimmick. The flames is not working.
Damn it.
I told my cousin that them flames wasn't gonna work.
It's too obvious.
What happened? I
But
talked
Beelzebub
to Beelzebub about my flames, and he stole my idea, and he put flames in his book, and then basically stole my idea.
Oh gosh.
But he didn't have the flames in the
I knew I
eyes
should've
and the
done
mouth.
ice. I
He had the
knew
flames
it.
all around him. And see, they stole my idea.
Beelzebub coming to people's dreams. His flames are not in his eyes.
Oh no. Ooh.
Okay, I have to pee.
All right. We're wrapping this up. We're wrapping this up. All right. So I don't
Sorry,
think
y'all. TMI. No, you laugh so hard.
So I also said that I think Tarvalon has fallen and Moiraine, Sedai, and Lan have been away for so long that they haven't gotten word yet of what happened. So
because they don't have the
Arthur
internet,
Hawking,
so
yeah,
there's no breaking news.
So when Fireface said, "You will serve me, or you will dance on Aes Sedai strings until you die," I think he was talking about the men Aes Sedai and the curse of the men Aes Sedai, as opposed to like the women Aes Sedai.
Okay.
Don't ask me exactly what that means because that's all I got.
Okay.
And then the Children of the Light are going to somehow find out that Moraine is an Aes Sedai. And I think they are more trained to spot one. And she isn't exactly trying to like blend in clothes-wise. So they're going to be like, oh, so we're dumb. We're dumb. That's a fucking Aes Sedai. Yo. Gather the crew. Assemble the squad.
It's a fucking
right?
Aes Sedai right here.
And so,
like we said, we told y'all
so we dumb. So we dumb. Now everybody got to pay a fee.
Right.
So
we got to kill the Aes Sedai.
Right. So shit's going to hit the fan. They're going to have to, because, why would you decide to stay an extra day when it's like a life and death situation, Moraine? That was not smart. But writer's brain, right? You need to drum up some action, right? Because it's been a little too quiet. Everybody's in the inn.
They've just been chilling.
Right. They just been, so now we got to drum up. So now they're going to realize she's an Aes Sedai. She's going to once again have to pull lightning out the sky or some other firefly, Aes Sedai shit. They're going to have to beat feet, but they're going to have a new friend with them. Whatever that little girl's name, that might be a girl that we're not sure if it's a girl yet. Them will be with them. I feel like they are maybe also Aes Sedai-ish.
Okay.
Or in training to be. And it was one of those things where it's like, be steadfast. I'm going to come back for you in about a year. And now she's back and she's like, I'm here, so go pack your sack. We leave at dawn. And
okay.
They're going to have a new friend with them.
So
I think her name was Min.
Min is going to roll with them.
Yeah, Min is, I think she's just, going around collecting all the potential channelers who could be Aes Sedai. And
she's on a recruiting trip.
Listen, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad.
She's very efficient.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you can do it, do it. Especially if you're hearing that all your Aes Sedai sisters died in this battle and then the other half joined, Logain or whatever.
Possibly. She doesn't know which rumors to believe.
But guess what? She coming prepared.
Right.
She gonna have, I brought backup.
Right.
So, so that's their, shit's gonna hit the fan. And Barrelon?
They're in Barrelon right now.
So it's gonna hit the fan in Barrelon. The Israelite whites are gonna
we are gonna call the white cloaks Israelite whites for the rest of this podcast. That is their name, Israelite whites.
The Israelite whites they're gonna spot her. They're gonna be like, ma'am, that's a mighty fine dress you got there. She's gonna be like, oh, these little things. Like, ma'am, that's a mighty fine blue jewel with a spark in it. Oh, this outfit is gonna they should have just laughed. Anyway.
Y'all racial profiling. Why you gotta pat me down? Is because you see me walking on the street with a blue jam on my forehead.
Because they're trained, right? They hunt Aes Sedai. They hunt dark
so they
friends.
profiling.
They're going to profile. Also, because she's walking around with this man.
They're NYPD.
Oh, they stopping and frisking?
They're stopping and frisking.
They're Giuliani's?
They are Giuliani trained.
You know what?
Wow. Not Giuliani.
I feel like they're not even trying to hide it. Like, you changed your name and that was it. At least in Avatar, The Last Airbender, when they went into the Fire Nation, they changed their clothes.
Right.
And
to look like that they were in the Fire Nation.
Like, come on, guys. Like, you got to be better than that. You're literally walking around with your water. Like, girl, separate. Split up. Like, what are y'all doing?
So you nobody, but he had a 4-foot sword in his
Nard would have had the...
Nard would have been like, cover more ground, separate. Meet back at Tarvalon.
Nard would have had them in costumes and everything.
Yes.
Right?
You listen. He would have had a costume for every city they hit.
Right.
So over here, they wear their pants saggy.
Right.
Strip.
Saggy pants.
Let's go. Tim's over here. Gore-Tex over there. Like.
Oh, we in New York. Right. We wear Tim's.
Listen.
But it's the summertime. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. They wear Tim's in the summertime.
Be like, but we on the beach. That's okay too.
Yes. Just keep your feet up. That's what I'm saying.
It's all terrain.
Yo, y'all funny.
Yeah.
So do you have any other predictions?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
This was a fun one.
Wow.
It's always fun when Call Me Nakomi use the key.
Call Me Nakomi. Do you have any Sis Be Steadfast or Water and Shade for any of our characters?
I'm not exactly sure what category you would put it in, but it's an observation. So I wanted to kind of put it to you guys, especially Keba, being the first-time reader. It was something that Moraine said right when they were about to go into Barrelon. when they were talking about, we should be okay. We should be safe now or whatever, basically. And Moraine said, and this is summarizing what she said, basically, said that they have no choice but to run and hide for the rest of their lives. Remember that when their journey becomes hard, you have no choice. That was like right at the end of chapter 13, basically. And so I don't know, I always read these as trying to put my mind in the space of a first time reader, especially with joining your podcast, basically. When someone says something like that to me, I'm thinking to myself, like, so I have to run for the rest of my life and hide for the rest of my life? How do you think you would have reacted to someone telling you that and saying that, remember that basically you have no choice but to run and hide for the rest of your lives, and remember that when the journey becomes hard, you have no choice.
That's a choice.
That's a choice. It's a choice that you can do.
Is a choice. That was actually one of the themes, because is no choice really a choice? And I think that it is. You're like, run and hide or what, right? Like there's always
there's always the or.
Right.
There's always or.
Right. And so I mean I can fight, right? So I fight. So like, okay, so you said, okay, so can we just gather the crew? Like, what are the odds here? What are we looking at? And I think she did that to put some fear into them, just to keep them on their toes.
Right.
But there is no other choice except to run and hide and run again for the rest of your lives. And short lives they would be. It's like, golly. You must remember that when the journey becomes hard, you have no choice. But I felt like she was talking more to herself than she was to them, because they have a choice. They could have chosen to stay in Emmons Field. They could have chosen to stay in Tarrant Ferry. They could choose to go back, right? Now, what are the consequences to those choices? Moraine's probably going to kill me. Atrolic is probably going to kill me.
And eat me.
Like there are consequences and actions, but there's always a choice. So I think that there is no choice was more Moiraine talking to Moiraine, because she feels like her only option and her only choice is to get these fools to Tarvalon to do whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
And so I think her saying there is no choice was just like her sis be steadfast to herself. Like, all right, we don't got no other options here. We gotta bring these fools. Bring them hell or high water, and be the hell and be the high water, right?
You need to be.
Papa Pope. Like just
did you just make a scandal reference?
I did, because what? I am a gladiator.
I know that's right.
Okay, so
white hats.
Yes.
So yeah, I think she was trying to like.
I like that.
Remind herself that
good.
this is her option. This is her only option. There is no other option for her.
I never took that
and
before,
apparently
but I like
Egwene.
that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. So that's all I had.
Okay. Keba, you have a sis be steadfast and or a water and shade?
And yes.
Let's hear it. You probably have the same ones I do, so I'll let you go first.
They're very short and very sweet.
Okay, go ahead.
Egwene, fuck Rand. The end.
The end.
The end. I have nothing else to say.
I had the same one.
What's understood doesn't need to be said.
Yes.
Fuck that dude.
I had the same.
Don't even let him tickle your titties no more. Girl, just take it all off the table.
In fact,
I like the idea of you being gay. You find you a pretty young thing to tickle your titties instead of Rand. He's disgusting and dirty. He hasn't bathed in 35 days.
Neither has she.
Okay, but I still. I would be grossed out. I'm sorry. Just go, girl, fuck him. All right. That's it. Matt, I want someone to pluck your teeth out or sew your lips shut.
Oh, damn.
I truly hate you as a character. Ooh. You talk entirely too much. And then on top of that, you also have the audacity to not be aware of when to stop. You are the worst kind of character. And I hope RJ takes you out in book 3. But since I know that's not going to happen, I hope he at least cripples you. And I also feel like that won't happen either. So from a writer's perspective, I can't wait for your redeeming character arc to happen so I don't have to roll my eyes every single time you enter a scene. Fuck you until then.
Damn.
That's it.
All
Quick,
right.
simple,
So Matt has been read for filth.
disgusting.
For filth. Landfill.
Cripple him. Take him out at the ankles. Okay.
Shame.
So my water and shade was for
Shame.
Shame. Tell Cersei it was me.
I did.
So yeah, I had the same. I wasn't gonna read Matt for filth like that. But yes, Matt.
I hate him so much.
Matt, shut the fuck up.
Oh, forever, if you will. Be so
Shut the
kind.
fuck up. I need you all to learn the definition of discretion.
Oh.
Please understand what discretion is. Everybody don't need to know everything. You know, and I don't know if it's the difference between, I don't know if it's a New York thing for me, like even Rand, like mind your business, Rand. Mind your business. Eavesdropping on Egwene and Moiraine. When y'all are in Bear Lawn, you all up in Moiraine's BI because she's talking to this girl who's possibly named Min, and you wondering why she ain't say nothing about men. She don't gotta say nothing about men. It's not your fucking business. Mind your business. Discretion. That's her business. It don't got nothing to do with you. You know, and I don't know if that's a small town thing where everybody knows everybody and everybody knows everybody's business. And so if you see somebody talking to a stranger, then you want to, what was that about?
Right. This is not
That's my
Cheers,
business.
baby.
You know?
This is not Cheers.
Did you say this is not Cheers?
It ain't. Where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your
And they're
name.
always glad you came.
And don't nobody know you. Nobody even know you came.
Always glad you came.
Yeah.
That's all that land was trying to say. Don't nobody even need to know that we even came here. We need to basically disappear, like to borrow from somewhere else, or fart in the wind, like nowhere.
Right.
Nobody needs to know we were even here. And this dude, let me tell you, you ain't seen none of them before.
Yeah, shut up. All right, so I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah, girl.
Call me Nakomi.
Yes, ma'am.
Always a pleasure.
Our sister.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We are definitely bigging you up. We're definitely going to drop your links in the description, the episode description.
Thank you,
as per usual. We also need to just quickly big up a couple more people. We mentioned that we have a new teammate, Ruark. They will be zhuzhing us up, making us sound like a real podcast.
Yes.
So shout out to Ruark from Watch Party Wheel of Time.
Shout out to you, baby.
We will be dropping the link to that podcast in the episode description. And also, we want to shout out to Rob, the designer of Weekly Wheel News, also of the recently launched They Might Be Dark Friends podcast. Shout out to you, Rob. Thanks for shouting us out in one of your issues of the Weekly Wheel News. And I think that's about it. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah, just a quick happy Easter for everyone who has celebrated Easter this past Sunday. And special happy birthday to Dr. H, my
Happy
little hubby bubby. His birthday will be coming up. And yeah.
See y'all at JordanCon next week.
Yep. So, in the meantime, you know where you can find us on the social media Trinity, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, WoT In Color. You can listen and subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts at WoT In Color. And you can chat with us on the Discord, please, because that's fun. That is always fun. That'll be in the link tree in our bio or in the description box. And if you have any questions, send them over to wotincolor@gmail.com.
All right. And really quickly, next week, right before JordanCon, we're going to be talking about chapters 15 and 16. Chapter 15 is called Strangers and Friends. Chapter 16 is called The Wisdom.
Welcome back, Nynaeve. I've missed you.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening to WoT In Color. Remember to come in love and go in peace.
Just don't let the wheel bend its finger and break your back on the way out. Deuces!